veio isso asumaya.
Hello everyone. During the time between Yom Kippur and Sukkot, davening is shorter, much shorter than it was than between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And the reason for which we omit Tachanun. The question is why? And unlike the colloquial reason given that it's because we're getting close to Sukkot, getting close to Sukkot does not warrant omitting Tachanun. When you get close to Purim, you don't omit Tachanun, only on the mincha prior, not days before. So from this perspective, it has nothing to do with it. The Be'er Eitav explains, we omit Tachanun because the Beis HaMikdash in the time of Shlomo, the first temple, was dedicated during this period of time. The fact is, according to the Be'er Eitav, even though it was dedicated way, way back when, we're still celebrating it today. And the question is, what do we learn from this? And I believe we can learn from this a very important message regarding what the temple means for us in this day and age. We usually think the temple means something that has to do with destruction. Tisha B'Av on the top of the list, not to mention the Zeichel HaChorban we do all year by leaving a part of our homes unpainted, by not setting the table to its fullest, taking off jewelry under the chorpah, and many, many other things that we do to remember there's a destruction and we're not totally out of it yet. But that's only part of the story. Said Rav Soloveitchik, there's a whole other slew of halachot that's not called Zecher LeChorban, remembering the destruction, but rather Zecher HaMikdash, remembering that there once was a Beis HaMikdash. And the primary example is what you're going out to buy during these very days, a lulav and esrog. Comes along Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, the president of the Jewish people, during the second destruction of the temple, and said, I want people to remember what it used to be like in the temple, and therefore they're going to shake lulav, not just on the first day, but all the days of Sukkot. And what's fascinating is that we both begin the Sukkot period and we end the Sukkot period by remembering the temple. We start by omitting Tachanun, because in these days we dedicated the altar in the times of Shlomo. And even though on Shmini Atzeret we're going to start saying Mashiva Ruach Umorid HaGeshem, we won't beginning to request for rain right away, but rather we're going to wait the earliest possible in Israel on the 7th of Cheshvan. Why the 7th of Cheshvan? To remember that that's how long it took for the farthest Jew living in Babylonia to get home from the temple that he went to on Sukkot. So, both before Sukkot, during the 6 out of the 7 days we shake lulav, and after Sukkot, we're remembering what was. And to be more precise, we're remembering what will be. God willing, there will be a temple again. And God willing, we will be having an altar again. And when we have an altar again, we'll also be shaking lulav in the temple, or perhaps all of Yerushalayim today, not as a rabbinic enactment of Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai, but rather as a biblical commandment of Usamachtem lifnei Hashem Elokechem shivat yamim, and you shall be happy before God for 7 days in that domain. And finally, we won't request for rain until Jews safely get back to their domicile after they came Aliyah Laregel, after they came to the temple on Sukkot. So, I believe that each day that we're going to omit Tachanun before Sukkot this year, let's remember, we have, thank God, a lot. We have a sukkah and we have a lulav, but we don't have everything yet. And we have to remember that each and every day. At the same time, we have to look forward to a time that it will be again. And we actively do so by omitting Tachanun before Sukkot, by shaking lulav 6 out of the 7 days of Sukkot, and by not requesting for rain till way after Sukkot as well.
Oh,